name is Mike Bartko with the SpeakerCraft Tech Support Department. I'm going to talk to you today about the Cinema in-wall subwoofer system. This is a powered in-wall system that is flush mount in your wall and will deliver powerful and smooth bass in your system here. In my hand, I've got the actual subwoofer itself, the Cinema in-wall Sub 10. It's the 10-inch version. Here we have the bass power amp. This is the 200, which matches up with the 10-inch sub. And we have the AccuTune box, again sized for the 10-inch sub, designed as a system, all these parts. This is affectionately coined the Big Red Box. Okay, I have here the Cinema in-wall 10. This comes in 8-inch and 12-inch versions as well. It is a 4-ohm paper-treated butyl rubber surround subwoofer and can handle 200 watts, this particular model. The 8-inch can handle 150 watts per voice coil, and the 12-inch can handle 250 watts per voice coil. This woofer in a retrofit application would install directly into your cutout. So retrofit, I mean we would not be using the AccuTune box. You would install it directly into the cutout, screwing in the front screws, supplied screws here, which would cause the dog legs to flip out and mount directly into the drywall. In a installation where we'd be using the AccuTune box, we would actually remove this back installation bracket. I'll show you how to do that right here. These screws that are holding the woofer itself in place are actually the screws that hold this mounting bracket in place as well. Okay, it's also worth noting, pull this woofer off here. It's also worth noting that out of the box, the screws for the dog legs will also be included. We actually have them already pulled out. We'd have to pull the screws out on the front baffle here as well. And that would enable us to pull this mounting bracket out. Set this aside. And then you would just reattach the woofer to the baffle. For pre-construction applications where you'll be using the AccuTune or Big Red Box, we have it all laid out here for you to show you how this would connect. We have a wood board here, which is required for 5/8 inch drywall. 1/2 inch drywall, this board would not be required to be used. You'll notice here on the AccuTune box we have 2 leads. One lead is marked the white box, or the white dot on the inside of the box, and this corresponds with the terminal cups on the top of the box. One is labeled left mono connection. So this would be the connection you would use when using a mono amplifier such as the bass power amp. You'll also notice on the back of the subwoofer here we have a white dot on the connector on the back of the subwoofer that we'd like you to use. So for purposes of this demonstration, we're going to assume we have 5/8 inch drywall. Go ahead and place our wood board in here. Give us the proper spacer. Line it up with the holes here. Make our connection using the white dot connection here. Connecting it to the proper woofer connector with the white dot here. Place this in, line it up with the holes, and screw it down with the supplied screws, of course. And to conclude the discussion on the subwoofer and the AccuTune box, the L brackets are supplied with the box, allow you to mount it into the stub bay The mounting hardware, of course, comes with it. So we go on the top and bottom of the box, like so. For best performance, it's recommended that the box be mounted as low on the wall as possible. A subwoofer that's lower on the wall is going to perform better. And also, it's worth mentioning that the grill comes with the sub itself and would just form fit in between the baffle and the woofer here. And finally, we're going to talk about the base power amp. Here we're showing you the base power 200, which goes with the 10-inch system, the 10-inch subwoofer in the AccuTune Box 10. You'll notice on the front of the amplifier here we have an active LED showing you when the amplifier is receiving a signal and actively amplifying it. We also have a front-mounted gain volume control here so that you can tune your subwoofer level to particular source material you're listening to. This, of course, is a amplifier that's meant to be installed on your shelf or in your rack, stacked on top of your other components. And let's show you the back of this amplifier now. And you'll see on the back we have all the regular inputs and switches. We'll talk about each one of them here. We'll start in the far right. We have a switch here for 230 or 115 volt for obviously American or European wall power. We have our connector for the actual power connector to the wall. We have an on-off switch. Here we have our main outputs. Again, this is a mono amplifier, so we just have a positive and a negative terminal here. So this is what you would connect to the AccuTune box. I'll go ahead and just show you how that's done. Okay, and here we have our phase switch, a 0 and 180-degree phase switch. Help you tune the system to a particular room. Next we have a volume limit knob. This is especially helpful for the installer to set a volume limit for the system. This volume limit would basically limit what the customer or end user could do in terms of maximum volume on the amplifier. And we have a bass boost from 0 to plus 3 dB knob here. We have a crossover knob as well, 50 Hertz to 150 Hertz, low pass frequency crossover. We have the LFE input. This would most commonly be used with a subwoofer output from a surround receiver. Does not utilize the internal crossover, allowing the surround receiver to cross the signal over. Here we have line level inputs. So if you did want to use the internal crossover and you had a pre-out or a preamp that was not crossing your signal over, you would connect your input here into the left and right inputs. If you needed to loop that signal out, you could do so here with the output, go to another amplifier. And then of course we also have the speaker level inputs. In case you cannot run an RCA, you could always run a speaker wire over to your amplifier and hook it up with a high level speaker input here. And of course, again, if you needed to loop that signal out, you could do so on the output side. Okay, so this is the Cinema Sub system, the powered in-wall subwoofer system by SpeakerCraft. If you have any questions or recommendations on future movies or tech tips, you can email us at techtips@speakercraft.com or call us at 1-800-448-0976. We're open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have.